Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
And I'm Jess Budd.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on May 17th, 2019. Remember, you can catch our famous Friday news shows each and every Friday morning.
If you want to follow along with us, just check out our show notes. Head over to marketingoclock.com for all the links from today's articles.
And please subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. First up this week, big news from Google Marketing Live. Hashtag Google Marketing Live. And one of the things we've seen floating around is here. Started in the auto industry. We saw it back in February with Nike ads. Gallery ads are official. And a gallery ad is one of those huge swipeable images above the organic listing on mobile devices. And you can swipe down and see up to 8 different images show up. And this is a very big deal because there are massive images now showing above the organic results on search. So my first thought was split on this. As an advertiser, I love it. Mm-hmm. It is huge, big, bold ads right where somebody is searching for something, which is great.
That's great.
The other issue is from an organic side, this could be problematic. Everybody that's out there right now looking to optimize and keep pushing organic traffic, you're going to be in for some surprises if anybody's running gallery ads for those queries that matter to you. So It is something you should head over to marketingclock.com and take a look at. You're going to be wowed if you haven't seen what gallery ads look like yet.
They are beautiful.
They are beautiful. And then the other thing that I had was, again, with my SEO hat on, I just thought of the fire dog, the dog that's sitting there in the fire that says, "This is fine."
Oh,
so I made a tweet with that GIF, and I sent it out to Ginny's reporting on the article, and it's just SEOs and the dog sitting there saying, "This is fine."
This is fine.
So that's, I guess, what my overall thoughts were. Another thing that I thought was a great tweet on this topic was from Dan Bocalio, and he said that ads above the fold, I thought Google was against poor quality page layouts.
Ouch.
Google's gonna need some sunscreen, maybe some aloe vera for that burn. So it is a huge, huge piece of news and ad type that is launched.
Yeah, and just like Natalie and Bruglia, we are torn. Nothing's
wow.
fine.
Good callback.
Thank you. People are all about nostalgia. I'm just trying to stay relevant.
Well, you are 1999 relevant.
Is that the year? I'm going to look it up.
Okay. In other big paid news that came out of Google Marketing Live, there are 3 new ways to optimize smart bidding models. We can now choose a conversion action at the campaign level. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
We can create a conversion action set that can go across multiple campaigns. And there are rules to adjust conversion values based on the audience type and to be able to tweak bids by value. And maybe even more importantly than that, we're now going to be able to maximize conversion value.
Yes.
Not just conversions.
Amen.
I didn't even need to ask for it this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I saw this on the show, what do you call Google Marketing Live? Was it a show?
Live stream.
Live stream. I mean, that's what it was. But if you were there, it wasn't a live stream. It was a live show.
Live show.
I wasn't there. Anyway, when I saw, I think I literally threw my hands up.
The keynote.
A keynote. That just sounds boring.
Yeah.
Like a keynote speaker, you're never excited. I guess maybe you are, depending on who they are. Anyway, I threw my hands up. I was very excited. I did not say amen. I saved it for the show.
All right.
But it's probably the best thing that came out of the live stream keynote live show, I think.
Yes. And to me, the one thing that we always teach here, I've probably said it 50,000 times maybe on the show, that not all conversions are created equal. And in this case, they don't have to be because it goes off of the overall value. So when you are optimizing for conversions, you can say conversion value and get a higher priced item instead of just a pair of socks if you're something like Nike out there. This makes all the sense in the world, and I love it. Great job, Google.
Amen.
There you go. All right, next up, There are more new ad types, and these ads are called discovery ads that allow you to run across the YouTube home feed, Gmail, social, and promotions tabs, and the Google Discover feed, including the Google app, where you will find the Discover feed currently. So these look very similar to the responsive ads that we've seen, responsive display ads. And again, we've seen these tested out in the wild. There was a speaker at the event that talked about how fantastic they were. I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But overall, in the Google Discover feed, you will now see ads relevant to... Shit, it's not relevant. Now, overall, in the Google Discover feed, you will be able to see ads based off of your information. What are your thoughts, Jess?
I like the idea of it. I think as an advertiser putting on that hat, I want to be able to be seen in more places. I like that. What I don't like about this, and it's all based on what I understand the product is, they haven't really explicitly said anything to this one way or the other, but what I don't like is that it seems as though you cannot control specifically where your ads show or cater the content to that placement. If you create these ads, you have to do a Discover campaign type, and it just tosses your ads across all of those, the YouTube, home feed, Gmail, and Discover. So I don't really like not having that control, assuming, again, that you don't have that.
And we don't know that for sure.
We don't. But it feels very automated to me based on everything that they've said. It also appears, again, we don't know for sure, but it appears that you can't upload any custom creative either, that you're just tossing in elements like headlines and image assets and landing page, and it's creating an ad for you. Again, that's nice. It's convenient, but convenience not always better. It's, I'd like to be able to opt into a little bit more control. So again, not officially saying that that's not possible, but it does not appear so, at least right now. And I don't like that.
Do you use Google Discover?
Personally, as a human, no.
Okay. As a human that uses Google Discover, I think having those responsive style ads, you could see it fit perfectly within the Discover feed. It's going out there and pulling in, news articles and different things that Google thinks will match your interests. And it's not perfect. And that's a whole part of it. It's this organic looking experience. And I think the responsive ads kind of fit that well. So I don't see that being a problem. The thing I was most surprised about is I didn't know the Discover feed was ready for ads. And a good example is today I got a Discover notification on the topic French fries.
Are you into French fries?
No, I'm not into French fries. That's why I don't think it's ready for big time. But again, it'll be interesting to see because it's just all this extra space that Google can now monetize, whether, again, it's YouTube or in the Discover feed.
Or Gmail.
At Gmail, yep. Social and promotion tabs. Another thing that I loved from Twitter in regards to the discovery ads, Corey Grunmeyer had a tweet that said, "I'd like to propose that we call discovery ads disco ads for short." I'm all in.
Yeah, that's fun. It's like Disco Duck, but ads.
Disco ads. So look for those coming soon here in 2019. Next up from Google Marketing Live, I think this should be filed under the good news for advertisers. Google is launching Bumper Machine. And Bumper Machine will whip up 6-second bumper ads from longer videos. And the tool uses machine learning to take relevant moments from those longer videos on YouTube and will automatically convert them into shorter ad units. This is powered by machine learning. Drink for everybody playing the Marketing Clock drinking game at home. And it will identify those well-structured moments and convert them into multiple 6-second video ads you can choose from. This is cool. My word of advice and why I'm a little down on this is to be careful. Google Photos now. Do you use Google Photos?
No.
Okay, they do this now, and they make automated videos, and they use machine learning to find your best moments. And they say, here's a picture of your kids. They use facial recognition and say, here's a picture of your daughter. Here's a picture of your dog. Here's a picture of your cats. And they put cat music and dog music to it and everything.
What is cat music?
It's like, rare. I'm telling you, there's a dog one. I'll play it after this.
Okay.
But they put it to custom soundtracks and everything, and they make videos for you. And they try to find the best moments. They never find the best moments. Every video you get is with you sneezing, or my kids with their fingers in their nose, or my dog eating his butt. Like, that's what they pull. And if that's what they think is the best from my photos, I'd be really careful looking at Bumper Machine to make your ads.
Well, do you have any pictures of French fries?
I have no pictures of French fries.
I'm just trying to figure out why Google thinks you're interested in French fries.
No, the only thing I could think of with French fries is in a Google Notes document, I talked about in Marketing O'Clock, I wrote French fries once because my kids saw the French fries on the floor. It was part of a shooting the heck from about 3 months ago.
I remember that. But you've also written a lot of other things once, and that doesn't mean that you're interested in any of them. Like sneezing. Now you're going to get cold remedy ads.
Oh, boy. I hope I don't get dogs eating their butts ads either. So, all right, next up, there is now a new TV solution within Display Video 360 for Google, and they are connected TV and linear TV so that you can buy ad slots on national broadcast and cable networks and thousands of local TV stations. So ABC, NBC, ABC, Fox, anything that's 3 letters. I'm going to be able to buy some ads on.
Can you believe that this is where we are?
I love it.
In the world. Like that is beyond anything that I would have ever thought possible. I always viewed TV as something completely separate that we could never touch, kind of like print.
The funny thing is, back in the day, you used to be able to buy TV ads through Dish Network, I believe it was.
Really?
Yeah, I bought them through Dish Network.
Really?
Well, I mean, through Google AdWords at the time, and you could buy them on Dish Network.
This
wild.
This
is way better. I mean, it's like, who's got Dish Network? And I don't know, it would never run. It was hard to use, but this is awesome.
This is pretty cool. Yes, it's like I said, if they could just find a way to expand display ads into print, I mean, we'd be taking over.
Yes. And when I first saw this, I'm like, oh boy, I don't think any traditional media buyers like this at all. It's going to open it to the masses. I love it. It's going to make it easy for everybody to buy TV. All right. And the last main news from Google Marketing Live is a revamped version of Google Shopping Portal. And people can now browse item ads. I'm going to keep calling them ads. I'm not calling them items. You can see any of the ads that show up in Google Shopping and give them options to buy things from a retailer's website, a nearby physical store, or on Google's site itself. This used to be called Google Express. No more. It is now just part of Google Shopping. So they are enhancing Google Shopping. It's going to become a much more robust location that people can shop on. Jess, do you use Google Shopping?
No, I don't use anything.
Well, you got a pattern here. I don't either. Do you know why?
Oh, I know why. But why don't you tell the people that don't?
Because I want to see everything. I don't want to just view a bunch of ads. And so I don't personally use Google Shopping. Sometimes I'll look around and see if something exists, and then I'll go out and actually perform organic searches to find what I'm looking for instead of browsing through a bunch of ads. Most people don't know this, however.
No.
And when I was watching this being unveiled, I thought of $1 billion idea. And I still don't know why anybody hasn't done this yet. All these startups that are doing all this crazy stuff, this is what we all need. An actual shopping search engine. Why don't we have that?
Whoa.
Go out, pull in all the data from, hey, Google, formerly Google Express, pull that in, pull it in from Amazon, every retailer, no fees associated, just a shopping search engine.
But how are they going to pay for this technology?
Well, you can start running ads and something like that. The problem to me is at Google Shopping, you can't have organic listings.
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of ads. Why are people looking at a bunch of ads? I don't get it.
They don't know that they're looking at ads. They don't. Unless they listen to this show or a couple other people that gripe about this.
Wait. They don't see that little teeny sponsored gray text in the upper right?
No, Greg.
No,
they don't.
Okay.
No, they don't.
All right. I'm done. Those are the main topics from Google Marketing Live. What do you have this week, Jess?
I've got something that was not announced in hashtag Google Marketing Live, but it is also from the Googs, so worth highlighting. A new performance planner is coming to Google Ads. So this is sweet because if you're like me, you like to make changes and hope that these changes improve your account's performance. But the only way to know for sure, obviously, is to make the changes and test the results. there's never been a really great way to forecast what some of those changes will do. So the new performance planner tool actually helps you do that. Again, you still need to test everything. These aren't guaranteed results, but it helps you visualize what changes, like the keywords that you use, as well as even things like budget allocations across your campaigns, will do as far as impacting how many conversions you're driving and achieving a certain CPA. So it's pretty cool. You should definitely check it out. And of course, if you're happy with what you see in your plan, you can then export a file from that and use Google Ads Editor to implement the changes. So again, nothing you do in the tool actually impacts your campaigns, but there is a way to export that and make the changes easily. So if you are interested, there are a few stipulations. It doesn't work with some campaigns, campaign types, depending on different automated bidding strategies that you have in place or shared budgets. But if you're eligible, why not play around with this? Because who doesn't want to better their campaigns?
I know.
Who?
The bad marketers.
Exactly. It's a free tool. Everyone should be playing with it.
All right. And usually that brings us to this week's lightning round, but we have a brand new segment we are unveiling this week. The take of the week. Each week we're going to be featuring a scorching hot take and serving it up for your consumption. Whether it be good, whether it be bad, we leave that to you. And this week's take comes from John Kagan, the VP of Search at Mark USA. And this was actually in a post on Media Post. He called, "The keyword is dead. Accept and adjust." And this came out at the very beginning of the week on Monday, before Google Marketing Live, hashtag Google Marketing Live. And I'm going to read one excerpt from the article. You can go check it out yourself and his take. "The shift away from the keyword-focused effort and toward the audience-focused effort has been foretold for a number of years. Whether or not it was realized is a different story. All one needs to look at is Google and Bing shopping ads, Yelp ads, and Facebook ads. For these, the category audience is what drives your traffic." Scorching hot take. Get the aloe vera.
Or the sunscreen.
Sunscreen. And Jess, again, this was out on Monday. On Tuesday, we had hashtag Google Marketing Live. How many times did you hear any Googler talk about keywords during the keynotes?
Not once, I don't think. Not one, right?
And
I didn't hear it at all.
That's why this is the take of the week. John called his shot here and was a fantastic take. And it seems like John's vision is coming to fruition.
He's a soothsayer, as you will.
Yes. And that brings us to this week's lightning round.
Pew, pew. At this point in the show, we split up our content into two parts, paid and
non-paid.
I cover everything to do with advertising, aka paid, and Greg covers the organic or
non-paid.
So here's what's happening in the paid universe this week. First is a tweet from @StephenJohns21, and it's got a beautiful screenshot with a heart eye emoji, and the tweet reads, "Google Ads new B2B detailed demographics beta audiences only." And according to the screenshot that he shared, check the show notes if you want to see that. You can target audiences now based on company size and industry. And this is still in beta, but it's very reminiscent of the LinkedIn targeting that is still in beta on Microsoft Ads. And I'm taking bets on which one we think will hit the masses first.
And one of the fascinating things about this, and if you look and follow that tweet stream, John has a LinkedIn conversation going as well. But somebody asked how he got access to this beta, and he had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get beta access. One including approving 90% of the suggestions that Google Ads gave. Also opting in to having the data used for case studies. And at one point he said he had to accept all of the suggested changes to get up to 90% level. And then he had to go backtrack and knock them out, but they still counted towards his 90% to get into the beta, which is ridiculous.
Well, thank goodness for that undo option in the change history. That's crazy. That's not fair.
Okay.
I could go on to B, but I'm not going to. That's not good.
Yes, okay. But I think he said his total MCC, formerly MCC account was around 88% of suggested changes implemented. I don't know what percentage was unimplemented to get this. So you probably won't see this, but hopefully you will soon. and I will not tell you to approve all those suggested changes to get there. I just won't do it. You're better off without it.
That is wild times. That's not cool, Google. What do we got next? Hashtag Google Marketing Live. More from that. This was an announcement that they released, I think, pre-Google Marketing Live, but it was in anticipation of it. So it's called, the article was called Mobilizing for Summer, Google Marketing Live 2019. Basically, some changes are coming to the Google Ads app. You can do more than just monitor performance. You can actually edit ad creative from your phone. I don't know if you plan to use that feature at all.
I love Google Ads on my phone, but mainly for reporting. It's tough to edit things. It would be nice to adjust a little bit easier. But so I'm excited for this. But I surprisingly use Google Ads on my phone a lot.
A lot, really.
Every day.
Really?
Every single day.
Just to check in on stuff?
Yes.
Even though you're at your computer? Also?
I have a problem. I'm not usually like, oh, I'm at my computer. Let me grab my phone here. Who needs these 3 screens? I'm going to use this 4th one.
That's what I was picturing in my mind.
No, it's more like, hey, I can't sleep. I'm wondering if this is working. Let me check this.
You poor soul. Okay, well, good for you then. Something else.
Bad for me. Don't endorse this. I don't co-sign this behavior of mine.
As long as you're not using that app to implement 90% of the recommendations in your account.
Get out of here.
Sorry. Something else that they announced was that local campaigns are coming to everyone. And this was hugely celebrated on Twitter. I feel like people were really, really excited about this. But something I'm not excited about is that they announced that this is coming to everyone, even, quote, even if you don't have store visits measurement enabled. Which, like, let's just enable that for everyone. If you're going to have local campaigns, the point of which is to drive traffic to your physical location of your business, but I can't track the success of that, what is the point of running such a campaign?
I don't know. You got to talk to the bad marketers.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm going to call them up and see if they're okay with this because I am not. Okay. Next, we're going to take a quick break from Google News and go into Facebook. Is that what you're... I thought you didn't want to do it.
I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hope edit that out. Up next, something every marketer using Facebook should be aware of.
Wait, you said Facebook, not Google.
I did.
Wait, we have other news outside of Google?
Barely.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to Google in just a minute. But quickly here, Facebook is finally launching a product that they previously announced, basically a tool that lets users clear their history of non-Facebook sites that have been associated with their account. There's a lot to unpack here in this article. It has to do with privacy and transparency, but the biggest thing for marketers is this can possibly impact targeting. Obviously, if we have less information on user behavior, interest targeting that we know and love on the platform could change dramatically. So as this rolls out, keep an eye on performance and possibly update some of your targeting.
And when I read that title, what businesses should know about the upcoming tool for managing off Facebook activity, I just think real life off Facebook activity. Oh, hopefully you're out there in nature or something.
Nope.
And it doesn't need to be managed.
No, they just mean websites with pixel data. I know. If only Facebook could track that, that'd be incredible. Next is from Mobile Marketer and a study conducted by PubMatic. Really like that name. It says that mobile spending has risen 29% on video.
Have you ever seen those taps that allow you to automatically pour yourself a beer?
No, everybody talks about those, and I'm dying to interact with one.
You're the beer person. How do you not know? You own a beer store.
Because we care about the customer and personal interaction, and we pour the beers for them. We offer a service.
Well, I thought the PubMatic would be a good name for the automatic beer pourer.
It absolutely would be. It's probably not. It's probably not related to beer at all. I bet they're like automatic publishing.
I don't like those automatic beer pourers. It makes you feel like you're in the bulk candy section.
Oh, you don't like the bulk candy section?
No, I don't. I don't know. You just feel like somebody's watching you, and you pour a little bit, and you see 14 cents come out, and you're like, I don't know.
Oh, what is it, like a gas pump? Like it just charges you for the exact?
Gas pump for beer.
That's wild.
Yes, you pour it, and the price goes up.
Well, obviously, as you pour more beer, the price goes up. That's kind of neat. I would have issues with that, though, because I have issues with gas pumps and even numbers. And
you would be You would never go there.
Never. I like to pour. I mean, I like to pour beer, so I feel like that's an exciting novelty for people. But I appreciate a
You'd
bartender.
have to end on, what is it, zeros? Or it can't end on threes?
It can't end on an odd number.
Odd number.
Unless
okay.
it's a 5. That's okay.
All right, you got a 50% chance.
No, you don't.
If it can't be an odd number?
Oh, I was just thinking 5 or nothing. Never mind.
Oh. Well, that's a 1 in 10% chance. Math guys.
We should work for PubMatic. We're good at stats. Yes. So again, the news here is that mobile ad spending has risen by 29% on video, and PubMatic predicts that mobile is going to be the platform of choice for video ads. So if you're not targeting mobile, maybe you should rethink your strategy.
Are you uncomfortable that it's 29%?
Well, no, because if that's actually the number, I don't want them to round up or down. I want accuracy.
Okay. Just didn't know how that fit into your superstitious equation.
Yeah, my neuroses are a whole other... We could do a whole show just on those, but we won't.
Neuroses o'clock. Starring Jess Budd. Okay, what's up next, Jess?
My last story, just because it's been a minute since we've talked about Google bugs, or half an episode, if not a minute. Not much to say really here, just an update that store sales and store visits data has been fixed for April 28th and April 29th.
Okay. Jeez.
I know, but also May 3rd onward. So there's still a lot of hecked up data in there.
So your store sales and store visit data still might be wrong for April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd. We should be good for May 3rd. And oh, great.
Yes,
okay.
That is your update. My brain hurts. What do you have for non-paid?
Well, this week in non-paid, we are going to start with everybody's favorite hashtag Google Marketing Live. There is a new portal announced, Google Trips. And this new Google Trips service will combine Google Flights, the mobile Google Trips app, Google Hotel Search are turning into just trips. Jess, how do you think you'd get there? Google.com forward.
Trips?
No. Google.com /travel.
But it's called Trips.
I know.
I'm going to have to Google this to get there.
I went to go do it. I'm like, I'm in the wrong spot. It's /travel because that makes all the sense in the world.
That's so dumb.
Google.com /trips will send you to the mobile app, which I think is getting revamped.
Even on desktop?
Yes, it sends you to a location to download a mobile app.
Gotcha. That's useful, I suppose.
Okay, and so if you go to google.com /travel, you will see this. Unless you're a G Suite user, you then are automatically redirected to google.com /flights. I don't know why.
But what if I want a hotel?
You can't. You're a G Suite user. Get out of here.
Doesn't make any sense.
So it is a very comprehensive look at, it kind of takes, have you ever used the Google Trips app?
No.
Okay.
Get out of here with your questions. No.
But it takes that Google Trips app experience about what is the most fantastic thing to see in New York City and gives you all this information in one location. And everybody has been saying, this is the death of the online travel agency.
Well, not if people can't find it.
Touche. All right, next up, Google has launched the Google Optimize Resource Hub, where you can see videos, ideas, case studies, and get you to the parts of the Help Center that you need to be at in order to properly optimize your Google Optimize experience.
I have things to say about that in a few minutes.
We'll get there, and I could not find the answer in this new hub.
Of course you couldn't. It's not out there.
But hang on for a new segment coming up next. Next up, from TechCrunch. After a year-long lockout, Twitter is finally giving people their accounts back. And when GDPR hit, there was a lot of confusion with Twitter and when somebody set up their account. Were they 13 years old, which was the requirement? If they had set it up before they were 13 and now they are 13, do they get the account? What Twitter did is just lock everybody. Lock it up.
That's not cool.
No. So all these people that had set it up a long time ago and are now 18, they couldn't get into their accounts. It was a big problem. They've resolved that now. So
Thanks.
if you were locked out, check it out. See if you can get back in. And lastly here today, MailChimp's evolution. And this came from the MailChimp blog. And it was actually a sweet article from one of the founders talking about that his parents and his co-founders' parents were small businesses, ran small businesses, and they always had that in mind. And that's they're now evolving to being more than just a mail platform. They haven't been a mail platform for a while. They've had all sorts of tools, but they now have an all-in-one marketing platform. And it's the marketing tools platform mixed in with a CRM system. So it is much more than just mail. Now, some of the pricing will go up. You may be grandfathered in for a certain period of time, but there are a lot more features that you will have access to. And again, I think the maximum cost is $299 a month. So it was $199, now it's up to $299. But again, it is on the smaller side for some of these, higher end full stack MarTech tools. Also, I think they need a new name.
For sure.
It can't be MailChimp anymore if you're CRM.
No, Marketing Chimp.
Marketing Chimp, that was great.
Or Chimp RM.
Yes, I thought Customer Chimp.
That's good too.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
Marketing Chimp, that's it.
No,
Go
I
buy
like
go buy that
Customer
domain. You're going to be able to buy domains through Marketing Chimp too. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. It's an all-in-one marketing platform. Look at them go.
All right, and that does it for this week's lightning round. And it brings us to the debut of another brand new segment.
Working hard?
Or hardly working.
And in this segment, we talk about what's going on good or bad in our own accounts. So some personal experience stuff here. We're
pulling the curtains back, folks, and we're talking shop.
Ooh. Shop chimp.
Shop chimp, yes.
I don't know. I'm going to stick chimp on everything except optimize, because this is a doozy from my world this week, and I'm going to present it to you like dramatic clickbait, because that's some of my favorite internet content. I installed Google Optimize site-wide. You'll never guess what happened next.
Can I guess?
Yes.
I am about to see 8 pages of a slideshow.
What?
That's what happens with a lot of clickbait.
Oh.
Yeah. Whenever you click that, you get at least 8 pages of slideshows.
You're right. So that's what would happen in real life, but I'm going to give you the cliff notes here. Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock, getting the abridged version. So I installed Optimize, like I said, site-wide on a client site, and I did it using Google Tag Manager, and I followed Google's instructions to a T. I did absolutely everything that they said, thought everything was fine, started running my experiment.
Side note, this is an e-commerce client.
Yes, this is an e-commerce client. And we noticed that the revenue being reported in GA tanked that week. So we were concerned that there was a real sales issue. Maybe the site wasn't performing, or it was something with, the cart itself. Maybe there was a technical problem. What was going on? We consulted with the client, and the good news is that their actual sales numbers were fine. They were better than ever, actually. We were beating last year. So the issue was strictly with GA reporting, which was good news, but also not great, obviously. So we dug a little bit into what happened, and if you follow Google's instructions for installing Optimize via Tag Manager, they will have you set up Optimize as a setup tag for Google Analytics, which means that Optimize has to fire before the Google Analytics tag will. So the problem with this is that when that happens, it's possible that your e-commerce event is firing before GA. So all of that e-commerce data is just not making it into Google Analytics because it hasn't loaded yet, which is complete WTH. And to your point, there is nothing on the internet that I could find about this problem. We had to come to this ourselves and realize why this happened. So brings up a couple key points for folks. Obviously, you should always annotate changes that you make to a site in Google Analytics. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have ever noticed that this happened. This reporting issue started happening on the day that we installed Google Optimize. So it helps connect the dots.
Especially because on that date, there was a red herring with the site going down and a few different changes that were kind of the immediate thought towards being the culprit.
Yeah, definitely. And that was what we thought for, several days. We were like, what's wrong with the cart? And there was nothing wrong with the cart. So that's number one. Number two, the reason that we were able to easily spot this was that we also, in addition to e-commerce tracking, have a goal set up, just a destination URL for cart completions. Not the best way to track things. E-commerce tracking is better. But if you have them both in place, you can see patterns in GA. And on this day when we installed Optimize, those cart completions were fine, but the transaction revenue dropped off. So again, helped us spot the issue. And then obviously the biggest takeaway here is that play it safe. If you're not running an experiment on your cart, there's no need to install Optimize there. Just don't install it there. Install it where you need it. And don't mess up your e-commerce data, because this was a big, big deal. And thankfully we were able to solve it because we're smart marketers. But heads up, guys, because there's nothing on the internet about this at all.
Okay. And for me, I've got a confession to make, Jess.
Ooh.
I barely use the web version of Google Analytics anymore when trying to solve problems from a client standpoint. If I'm just getting basic data, I go to GA.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to solve a problem, I use GA data, but I use Google Data Studio. I love it. I can't get enough Data Studio.
That's your confession, is that you love Data Studio? That's okay.
I love it. In the juxtaposition of what is working hard, Data Studio is working hard for me. And tying in the Google Analytics data, you can have specific dimensions, dimension breakdowns, you can filter easily, and you can pull things up that you just can't get that granular look at within Google Analytics. Again, I still use Google Analytics, the web version, for many things, but I find it just arduous to get in there and find and be a detective. I like putting in the exact data I want, seeing it in my own view, seeing it over time, seeing patterns, and getting the whole version.
And quick anecdote on my last story, we were pulling that GA data on transactions versus cart completions into a Data Studio report.
Yes.
And that is where you and I were when we noticed that problem in the patterns. So
we were looking at specific browsers over an extended time period and juxtaposing browser versus browser data.
Yeah.
So I never thought I would move away from the web version of GA, but it's time to bounce from me. And if you haven't checked out Data Studio yet for your analytics, check it out. It's amazing, and you can see exactly what you want.
Yes.
Working hard.
Amen.
All right, and now it's time for this week's
WTH.
And this week's WTH comes from Business Insider. And the title of the article is called Angry Game of Thrones Fans Google Bombed the Show's Creators. So a Game of Thrones Reddit channel named /r/freefolk is using Google to have the show's creators pop into the top results for a search for bad writers. And what is a Google bomb, you may be asking? Good question. It was something that Google had tried to do away with a long time ago, but apparently they haven't.
A long time ago, like years, many years.
Many years. And people would be able to link using specific anchor text over to articles or to people. Most famous Google bomb was Miserable Failure Google bomb that linked over to George W. Dubs Bush
Yes.
back in the day. And now people are trying to get the show runners to show up for bad writers. And my first thought was, don't people have things to do?
No.
I never get this.
This is what they have to do.
That's what you're doing? You're setting up this extravagant link scheme just because you didn't like a show?
Yeah.
I've got an alternate option that you can do. Not watch the show.
Oh, what a fine option.
You can say, I'm done with it. I'm over the show.
You think people are, there's like one episode left, right? People are going to stop. They're going to be done with it now. I feel like these people are invested and they're mad.
That's the hill you choose to die on it.
Okay.
What you don't need to do is spend time ruining the search results for bad writers. Furthermore, there's a petition going on around Game of Thrones.
There is?
Yes. 500,000 people want season 8 to be redone because they don't like it.
Okay, let them all just donate some money for that to happen too, because this is a very expensive show to create, right?
There's 500,000 signatures for HBO to remake the 8th and final season of Game of Thrones.
These poor people, do they think that's going to happen because they signed a piece of paper?
I hope not. And with all this time, maybe make your own little puppet version of how you think it should play out.
Game
How
of
about you do
Puppets.
that? Game of Puppets.
Or Puppets of Thrones.
So anyway, I can't believe that this actually still works, that you can Google bomb for bad writers and for the fact that people have this much time to do it in a super tight turnaround too. We're talking, I just really hated episode 5. So within a few days, we've got them up there ranking for bad writers.
I guess we can give these people credit. They banded together and they got something done. Granted, it didn't change the world, but if they wanted to put that kind of energy towards something better, maybe they could achieve it.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jess,
Yeah.
There will be no spoilers here.
No.
But have you watched an episode of Game of Thrones?
Spoiler alert, never in my life. I couldn't possibly spoil this show if you wanted me to. I've never seen it.
Okay. So a little fun fact for people who are maybe Game of Thrones fans, not have ever seen a single episode, but hearing some chatter at the lunch tables.
Yes. Yes.
Can you describe what you think Game of Thrones is?
Oh, yes. Because actually, as someone that doesn't watch it, it is fascinating to listen to you guys talk about it. Game of Thrones is this big war between zombie snow people, dragons, and some woman that moves too slow.
That's pretty good. Wow. There it is.
Did I get it?
That's it. That's the whole show. All right. Perfect.
There it is. Game of Jess.
Game
Get
of
your
Jess.
puppets.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about with Google Bombs?
I mean, I could go on forever, but no, I won't.
Okay. And that brings us to this week's Cool Tool.
And as a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And this week's discovery is more of an update to a tool we're all familiar with, Google Sheets. So, holy sheet, 3 new features are coming. I couldn't resist, I'm sorry. New features coming to Google Sheets. Remove duplicates, which if you're an Excel user, holler, you know what this is. You can get rid of duplicate data now. Very, very nice. They've also got a cool new feature, trimming white space. So there's no more annoying spaces before or after your cell values. Very, very nice for formatting. And they've also announced something they're calling compatible spreadsheet shortcuts. Their example, though, was paste. And you could use a keyboard shortcut to paste before. So I feel like this is pretty standard, but there's a whole list of them actually in the show notes if you want to check the other shortcuts. The shortcuts are coming to Google Sheets. Get excited.
Yes, and the removing duplicates is a big deal for anybody doing keyword research, website research, any type of research, and brings Google Sheets up to near par with Excel, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll give an amen to that one.
All right, and on to this week's must-read marketing article of the week. An article so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show. And this week's article comes from podcast favorite, Glenn Gabe of G Squared Interactive. And he's got an article over on G Squared Interactive called Exploring Google's New How-To Snippets in Search and on Smart Displays. SERP treatment, fresh GSC data, video templates, monetization, and more. And he pretty much just covered it in the title. But if you read the article, it is the definitive how-to schema article. And then remember, this came out last week at Google I/O. And he shows how the how-to snippets look, how they look on Google Assistant smart displays. And there is a pretty big difference where you have to go to a website on the web. But on smart displays, you can see every how-to with, again, the schema and rich results testing so that you can make sure if you participate in how-tos, you'll get that right. The possibility of making a how-to without even having a site, just using video. How this may be monetized down the road. Think disco ads. And also reporting and a whole lot more. So if you have how-to content, this is the piece for you. Glenn always kills it, and he outdid himself on this article. So thank you, Glenn.
Yes, Glenn, good job doing a how-to on how-tos. I hope you marked that article up yourself. Thanks for the laugh, Greg. That does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from the show on marketingoclock.com. Please be sure to subscribe while you're there so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.